Well, welcome to Star Sports' latest Zoom room, our first one of 2022. So hopefully you'll all enjoy this one ahead of the Blue Riband final at Towcester on Sunday afternoon. A cracking competition it's been. Some very, very good dogs haven't made it through to the final. But as always, I'm joined by Martin Chapman, Lofty is here, and trainer Mark Wallis, who amazingly has 3 through to that Category 1 final on Sunday afternoon. Congratulations, Mark. What a flying start to the year for you.
Yes, really good. I must admit, I wouldn't say I was surprised maybe with the likes of Drumco Brent, who's, a really good Towcester dog. And, we felt like right from the start, he was our best chance of getting one to the final. But equally, Ivy Hill Sky High, who's, had gone completely out of form at the sort of October, November last year. And we rested him through December and over Christmas, and then really only just brought him back for this competition. I thought he might have needed the run in the first round, and he qualified, and he's gotten better and better as competition's gone along. And then Bryce Canyon getting to the final was fantastic for the owners. He's a nice little dog. He's won a couple of little opens, but he's sort of A2, A3. And I knew they were short of numbers, so I said, "Look, listen, he wouldn't be out of place in this competition," and he's gone on to make the final. So, we're really pleased that we've got 3 in it.
And that is amazing in itself. We'll talk more about your runners in just a moment. But Lofty, I think we better get a check on the betting from you. I'm expecting a short price favourite here.
Yeah, in Thorn Falcon. Unfortunately, he was the one we laid at the start of the competition, and rather like the Essex Vars at Romford, we got 2 losers on our anti-post books, and they're both odds on short price favourites in the final. So this one here, we're 20 down the card, 25 to 1 Bryce Canyon, 5 Ivy Hill Sky, worth 6, later but it's 6 to 1 this afternoon actually. 4 Signet or Sign at Otis, 12 Sleek by Design, 4 to 5 Thorn Falcon, and 11 to 2 Drumco Brent.
Okay, and I guess the price of Thorn Falcon, you said, reflects the fact he's a loser, but that means that potentially, if you don't fancy Thorn Falcon, there's a bit of value to be had elsewhere.
Well, we try to be competitive to the rest of them. I think we are top price Sign at Otis. It looks probably likely leader in the race. It's not an enormous amount of EP, and I think we're certainly the biggest price marks outside of Bryce Canyon there. Drumco Brent, look, as Mark said, seems to run his best race at Towcester. He's a proper Towcester dog on the outside, and credit to Mark here, a dog been on the go forever, it seems. I've seen the dog. I know he won the first week of the Derby last year and he was really well back. He was on the go a long time before that. He's been on the go since then as well, and he's maintained his form really well. And does run Towcester really well too. If they were swapped round, maybe, if that was drawn in 5 and Thorn Falcon was drawn in 6, I think Thorn Falcon would probably be a much bigger price than what he actually is. But I just think drawn the correct way round there. I mean, Sleek by Design should go pretty straight from track 4. And obviously with the early pace on the inside and his Sign at Otis looks a likely leader. I'll come on the mark later on if he thinks that Ivy Hill Sky is probably better drawn out of track 1. I mean, he absolutely flew out of track 1 in the semi-final the other night. He actually popped out as well in the quarter-final. I mean, something just got up his inside going to the first corner when he was in track 2. And if he comes away again from track 2 like he does and makes the first bend in front, we all know what Towcester's like with a track, does favour front runners. And if he can get off the front, I think he's definitely a big runner in the final.
Well, let's talk about Ivy Hill Sky High first of all, Mark, priced at 6 to 1. I often think this dog is a little bit underrated. He's such a great competition dog. He does you proud everywhere he goes without being flashy. But actually, he was quite flashy in the semi-finals on Sunday.
It was a massive return to form for him. As I say, I was almost of the opinion at the beginning of December that he was probably near to retirement. So I'm sort of taken aback a bit myself that he's sort of come back to that sort of great form that we see. In the early part of last year, he made the was just beaten in the Laurels at Perry Barb, short head by Liz McNair's dog, and he made the Sussex Cup final. He stepped up in trip and made the Summer Stayers final, and but for some reason, come sort of October, he just didn't really seem to be doing at all well. And he had a few races, and I thought maybe he came to us as a bit of an older dog anyway. I thought perhaps he was coming to the end of his career, sort of thing. But we freshened him up. Seems to have done the trick. He's come back and run really well. Actually, tipped him up. I thought he was crazy price on my website, 100 to 1. I thought it was a ridiculous price. I'm now wishing I had a couple of quid myself, which I didn't. But he's a good Towcester dog. His record at Towcester is very good. I mean, he was probably the shortest price runner of bar Drumco Brent of all ours in the Derby. But he got knocked out in the early round, but he's done the owners proud, really, because he wasn't at all a massively expensive dog. He was relatively cheap. So the lads who own him, they're delighted with everything that's gone on with him, and this is a great final to be in.
Absolutely. On his inside in Trap 1, you've got Bryce Canyon, who you touched on, has done very well and perhaps surprised quite a few people getting to the final, was running graded racing for you till November. But, he's not a young dog. He's not old, but he's not young. He just seems to have come forward, whether it's in this competition or even just the back end of last year as well.
Yeah, massively come forward. We've got most of the litter here, and they've all got some sort of flashes of real good ability, Antigua Little and Breakfast Club, who you see quite regularly on RPG TV on Sunday nights. Antigua Big, and they're all good sort of solid dogs, and he seems to be the one that's held his form quite well. We tried him at Romford 575. He actually won one of the Friday night maiden competitions, but he clearly didn't like Romford and didn't stay, and the time he won him was dreadful. But he's a solid 29 sort of 70-80 dog round Towcester. He may still improve further as he gets older as well, but he's a lovely dog as well. He's such a beautiful dog, and I'm so pleased for the owners. The owners live in the United States of the Arab Emirates, so they're delighted. And I'll be speaking to them later tonight, and he's got his picture in the Racing Post today. Going around the bend. We probably didn't think he was going to be sort of as good as he was. He was bought for a bit of fun and to be a reasonable class, but he's now exceeding all expectations. So and I mean, it's a massive ask for him to beat the likes of a Derby champion and Kevin Hutton's two are going to be really dangerous. They're real good dogs for not just for now but for the future. And the likes of Ivy Sky and Drumco Brent. But he's there, and he's there on merit, and you never know.
Absolutely. It's not easy to get to the final of the Blue Riband, so certainly there on merit. Drumco Brent, the shortest price of your runners, he's in at 5 to 1. Probably you'd agree he should be the shortest, would you, even given the draw?
Yeah, definitely. He's not quite timing his breaks as well as we like. He was like clockwork coming out the traps in the summer. But I mean, his record at Towcester, I mean, Lofty probably could tell me better, but he's got a phenomenal record at Towcester. And of course, let's not forget he won the Sussex Cup at Brighton as well. He's a Category 1 winner. Is he the class of the Thorn Falcon? Maybe he's a couple of lengths behind him, but it could be one of those. It's all on the day, I mean, it goes without saying. I think Patrick's got a massive chance of winning his own fantastic sponsorship money here. He's at the end of the day, he's a Derby champion, and he's the one we've all got to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Lofty Thorn Falcon has really shown that it wasn't just a one-off. He clearly thrives at Towcester. That said, the draws worked out well for him, but not just that. Sunday afternoon, he looked the real deal again, didn't he? Properly looked to be the dog he was when he won the Derby.
Yeah, he did again. Yeah, but to me, he looked a little bit laboured, I thought, in the first 2 rounds of this, certainly, or in the semi-final, in the quarter-final round. Obviously, this has been a 4-round comp in the 2 previous rounds. But yeah, he certainly put that to bed on Sunday afternoon. He showed that, pace off the second bend. And don't forget, we all said Towcester favours the front runners, but, he showed that pace off the second, down the back into the third bend that we know he's got. And yeah, he was impressive enough to the eye, certainly, as you say. We thought we had a few chances of getting him beat prior to that, but we didn't after seeing what we saw there. Well, obviously, if he does the sort of track and shows you any pace that he showed in the Derby, there's every chance he could possibly go round in front here. And if he goes round in front here, it's it's definitely a good night at Vienna for us from a betting point of view. But look, he's a class act. He loves Towcester. He's been off, his little break off. He's a great big dog as well, as Patrick said last year. He didn't need his time to maybe come to hand and, and get himself right again. He's, like most of us, we put a bit of weight and we've got a blood of cobwebs away somewhere. It takes us a bit of time to get to our fighting weight. Take me a lot longer to be fair, Julie. But look, he proved in the semi-final, what the class dog he was, and so as he proved last year in the Derby and against the, without the Irish dogs being over so far. I was chatting to someone during the week actually about, the strength of the Irish dogs compared to the UK dogs so far this year. And, if this is really the top notch of the UK dogs, we're looking at maybe a likes of a Thorn Falcon again, being there defending. Brookside Richie was quite disappointing, I thought, to be fair, in this comp. He looks a dog who is not entirely in love with Towcester, or maybe needs to get off the front all the time. But, we'll see if he comes back there. And I dare say, obviously, he'll challenge for the Derby as well. But at the moment, even though I haven't seen the Irish think about beginning anything over the Derby, they look a lot stronger than what we do on paper. But I'm sure we'll come to that come the summer. We'll have Mr. Fortune crowing again like he normally does. But
yeah, look, the Irish always look stronger at this point. We're not worrying about that.
Well, they always do. They always look stronger on paper, as you say. They're not stronger on the sand round Towcester. But we'll see. We've got that to look forward to anyway. All come through all the whole of May and June. But looking back to this, we've well laid Thorn Falcon anti-post. He was anti-post favourite at the start. Obviously, Patrick trying to get his own sponsorship back, which is fair enough, really. We always try and do it. I keep saying to Ben he wants to try and buy a Derby dog himself, and try and win his part of his own money back. We haven't quite got that far yet. But look, I think it's Thorn Falcon's race to lose. Any sort of half decent break and could be left chasing sign at Otis. Ideal Sky Eye. He comes well if he did in that semi-final. He absolutely rocketed out of trap one there. Maybe trap one is the place to be sort of smashing out of Towcester now. As Mark said, he looked completely gone in the winter. He ran over 6:30, I think, at Monmore one night, and just he showed a little bit of middle pace, and then just sort of dropped out of contention. And so he ran a few appallingly bad races. But he looked a different dog last week when he rocketed out them traps. So. But we know it's Towcester. Look, it could be unpredictable. It could be on the day, it could be on the break there at the corner. If anything gets to the bending front, it's very hard for fast dogs to pick up fast dogs around Towcester. So remains to be seen. I'm not quite giving up the ghost yet of getting Thorn Falcon beaten.
Well, I was going to ask you who your tip is. Before that, I just want to touch on Hutton's dogs, because Mark alluded to the fact that, they do look serious prospects, fantastically bred Magical Bale Forest, Natalie, January 20s. If they come forward between now and the Derby, they could become quite good contenders, obviously liking Towcester.
Exactly, yeah. A couple of British breds as well, obviously. It's good to see that the British breed, and I think Kevin seems to have carried the flag over from Rab now, as having all the decent British bred dogs. Obviously, Patrick's got a few good British bred dogs as well. And yeah, let's look a real nice litter. It's got a nice bit of early sign at Otis. I know he got beat by Patrick's dog in the British bred Derby up at Sheffield, but he's certainly got plenty of speed in his say. In a race where there's not a huge amount of you think there's early paces, could well go to the corner in front here. Sleep by Design was. Did well to qualify last week. It's in half position and just got up on the line to qualify for that third qualifying spot. But full well he's still got the ability, saying young enough, not quite turned 2 yet to come forward as well. So yeah, all in all, Mark's dog in trap 1, Bryce Canyon. He's got there on merit, but looks really like he's making up the numbers. It's a bit unfair to say a dog with a cat one far's making up the numbers, but it's hard to see how he can win, to be honest. But if any of the other 5 results, none of them would really surprise me. So. But to give a tip, I don't know. If Ideal Sky comes away like he did last week, I think he could win again, to be honest. That's a bit of a bold one. I just think if he was in trap 1, I would quite fancy him a bit stronger. But just if he can get to the bend in front of the Reds, I say, he just didn't quite make the bend in the quarterfinal when a dog got up the inside of him. He just sort of bottled out of it. It's hard to have a bend at Towcester if you've got a dog inside you. And he didn't quite fancy it there. So speculatively, I shall go for him.
Somebody's trying to ring Mark. We keep losing him, seeing him there. But Ivy Hill Sky High, how he ran Sunday afternoon, Mark, wouldn't surprise me at all if he could do it for you. And gosh, he'd be a dog that would deserve it, wouldn't he?
Yeah, most definitely, Julie. It'd be great to see him. As I say, he's spinning. This is his 4th big final, which is great. But it's amazing what Lofty was saying. It's about the Derby and everything, because we was at a eardrums bashed all year long that the Irish are going to have the first 6 home in the Derby, and Thorn Falcon certainly put paid to that, and I think he's the dog that everybody's going to have to beat this year around Towcester. I think if Patrick knows what he's got to do now, that dog's just a real Towcester specialist, and it doesn't mean to say he's not a great dog elsewhere, but he knows where his strengths lie, and bar giving perhaps a couple of trials somewhere else just to freshen him up. Like I'd say, if he stuck to Towcester, I think everybody's going to have him to beat, and I think Lofty's going to struggle a bit to get him beat on Sunday. We're going to try our best with our runners. I think I still think Drumco Brent is he's definitely, he hasn't broken yet. Drumco Brent, if he can come out, he's got a 29:30 odd on his car. And that's the kind of time he's going to have to do to win this, I think Ivy Hill Sky has got to really drive that bend. He's got to flash out and drive that bend, beat Kevin Hutton's 2 to the bend. Hopefully, Bryce Canyon's got a lot of pace on the inside there, so you wouldn't want them two coming up the inside because they're drawn the wrong way around, in my opinion. And it's an interesting race, but and it's a great race, but. Really, if we've all got the 5 to beat for sure. We might be able to do Lofty a favour on Friday night if we can get Sweet Pear to come out like she did the other day, and there's a little bit of crowding on the inside, So I think we've fared well in the draw on Friday night, although so we got a nice final there. And 3 in the final on Sunday, so it's a real good start for the kennel, whether we win, lose or draw.
It really is a good start. So who would your tip be, Mark? Are you going to go with one of your own, or do you think Thorn Falcon?
Well, I still think our best chance is Drumco Brent, simply on the fact that he hasn't really trapped as well as he can. If he can trap in his best style and flash in front of trap 5, he could really give it some problems. He'd be definitely our best chance, I'm sure.
Okay, and Lofty, just quickly before we leave you, we've been talking about Thorn Falcon being the one to beat for the Derby. What price is he anti-pace for the Derby?
Sure, I think it's about 33 to 1. I've got my prices up here. He might even be 40 to 1, I think. Is he 40 with us for the Derby? Yeah, 40. There we go.
That's not bad, is it?
No, obviously we're trying to find dogs out at the moment. I mean, I've got Explosive Boy in his favourite, who's hugely unlikely to run. So then it's literally 33 to 1 bar that. I mean, around a bailout who's Rab's dog, and then we've got a host of Irish dogs. I mean, Susie Sapphire 33 to 1. She's at price to run, really, isn't she? I mean, in the English Derby, and probably double that really to run over here, but she's at price because she won't run in the English Derby, I think. But yeah, lots to look forward to with that yet. But remains to be seen what I can say come July.
Absolutely.
Whole new load of Zooms for those, I think, later on.
And Mark, anything up your sleeve that you can give us a sneaky word about for the Derby?
Well, I'm definitely looking at being, it's been a while since we see the likes of Bruce's Bullet and, in the Derby final, and we've gone 2 or 3 years without having a real contender. I think we have got a couple of contenders this year. Antigua Storm, most definitely. He's had a slight toe injury since he got knocked over in the final of the Kent Derby, but he's just about ready to come back now, and all seems well with him. I think he's probably around 50 to 1 chance for this year. The dog never did nothing wrong in his races. Second in 2 Cat 1 finals, and then won the East Anglian Derby. It looks like Toaster's going to suit him down to the ground. We shan't run in there too much until the Derby comes around, but I still think he's probably our best chance. We've got a couple of young ones that I'm really hopeful that could turn into Derby contenders this year, and they seem to have that kind of pace. We've also got our usual abundance of new stayers coming along as well, so we're certainly going to be strong in the staying department. But yeah, I'd love to have a real serious Derby contender. I think the 3 that are in this Blue Ribbon final, of course, we'd love to see Drumco Brent come back. It'll be his sort of almost his third full season sort of thing, so hopefully he's still around come June, July time, and maybe Ivy or Sky are the same sort of thing.
Well, it looks like we've got a great few months ahead of us, but it starts on Sunday night, definitely at Towcester, in terms of, Derby clues and things. And Mark, 3 in the final, just a great achievement by you. So whatever happens, well done, and enjoy the night. Thanks for joining us, and best of luck. Thanks, Lofty.
Cheers, Julie.
Thanks, Lofty.